do a sound check just to ensure everyone can hear us.
Do it again.
Let's do a sound check, ensure everyone can hear us.
Thank you.
We just had the generator turned off, so we want to double check on the sound. Okay? Okay.
What's that?
What do we need?
Speaker's not working? Which mic is that? Oh, you can hear it? Okay. Okay.
How about now? Is that a little bit better? Okay. All right. We're going to get started. Thank you very much, everyone. We understand this has been a very long, we're into our second day, so we appreciate your patience. My name is Officer Jonna Watson. I'm one of the public information officers for the Oakland Police Department. We'd like to update you this morning regarding this tragic fire. Currently we have with us Sergeant Kelly from the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, as well as Battalion Fire Chief Melinda Drayton. And when you come up to the mic, please go ahead. I'm going to right now turn it over to Fire Chief Battalion to discuss with you some of the logistics that have occurred during last night.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Melinda Drayton, MELINDA-DRAYTON, Battalion Chief for Oakland Fire. I took over from our Deputy Chief last night at approximately 9 o'clock to start our night ops operational period, which lasted 12 hours, ending at 9 o'clock this morning. Our goal was to work collaboratively with Public Works to breach the B side, would be the left side of the warehouse building, the fire building, in order to gain access for our firefighters and Alameda County sheriffs to be able to remove debris systematically from the building to the vacant lot next to the building, literally bucket by bucket, in a methodical, thoughtful, mindful, and compassionate way. We had firefighters with basically coveralls and buckets and shovels taking bits of debris out into the vacant lot to then be loaded into dump trucks and removed to an off-site location. In order to do this, we had to gain access by breaching the wall with heavy rescue equipment, specialized tools. That turned out to be a very successful operation. We have gone from one end to the other end of the building, encompassing approximately 20% of the building, searching for victims and doing debris removal. At this point, we have approximately 80% left to search. So within 12 hours of our operational briefing, we made it through 1/5 of the building. This will be a long and arduous process, but we want to make sure that we're respecting the victims, their families, and our firefighters' safety to work slowly and carefully through the building. Public Works brought in an unbelievable amount of equipment that worked in concert with the firefighters in a very teamwork approach to make sure that everything was removed that needed to be removed out of the building, that we took care of everything that may cause any hazards to our firefighters. And I can tell you, when I was in there throughout the evening, the somber approach that our firefighters and Alameda County Sheriff Department members took to this search. It was quiet. It was heartbreaking. To get through what we were able to accomplish in 12 hours was a phenomenal feat. We have a lot more to go. We're going to be here for a few more days just getting through the building, if you do the math, and we'll be taking the same approach.
Thank you, Battalion Chief Drayton.
Good morning, Sergeant Ray Kelly with the Alameda County Sheriff's Office. I'll be talking about our Coroner's Bureau operations, our work at the Family Assistance Center, and kind of where we are and what we've gone through last night. I think as the chief described, you can feel that emotion in her voice. We all feel that. When I came back this morning and I saw our people, our firefighters, our first responders, our deputy sheriffs in there, they're tired, they're exhausted. This is very emotional. I want to update people on where we are as far as how many victims we have, how many more we possibly anticipate, and where we're headed right now. We have located thus far, with about 20% of the building searched, we've located 24 deceased victims of this fire. We've only been able to do 3 official notifications to families. So this is going very slow for us because we have to go back to our Coroner's Bureau and try to identify these people. This is very hard work and it's very slow, and it's definitely has taken a toll on the first responders here, and we're working in a 12 on, 12 off capacity, and so we have people around the clock, and we will be here for days and days to come. I have a few requests that I ask of the public and of the press. If people would no longer call the number that we originally had put out, we have been completely overwhelmed by phone calls. So we're asking at this point that you not call that number unless you have a legitimate concern that someone you know is missing. We have contacted every family member. We have sat down with them. We have cried with them. We have spent hours and hours with them. We couldn't do this without the assistance of the Red Cross, the city workers, the chaplains, the amount of people that have come forth to help to do. I mean, the offers of assistance have just been amazing. So we couldn't do it without all those people. As we move forward later on today, we will begin to release names of the victims, and that's going to be very hard. But we want to do that in a respectful manner. We want to make sure that the families are prepared for the names of their loved ones to be public. And so in the coming hours, we will be releasing victims' names. I'm going to refer it back to Officer Watts.
Thank you, Sergeant Kelly. Last night, Oakland police officers did what we call an area-wide search. What they did was they went through and they looked at all of the parked vehicles, gathered license plates numbers for any of the victims that may have driven to this location, and we're trying to match vehicles with registered owners, with cars that have been driven. So we're working the scene from many different angles, many different resources, many different agencies involved. I will certainly open it up for questions. We're going to be brief on the questions, and let me explain to you for the reason why. We'd like our city officials, such as the mayor, to be able to have her opportunity with the media, as well as provide additional information. As the sergeant and the battalion chief indicated, we still have and are recovering more additional victims, and as the information is made known to us, we want to share it with you. So at this time, I will say that we will have a media availability at 11 o'clock. A media availability at 11 o'clock. We'll certainly send out a advisory. I'll ask again, if you have not provided us with your contact information, again, we have a lot of media that is from out of town. Please, I'll be available. My partner, Officer Marco Marquez, will be available. We'll collect that information. Yes, sir.
Yeah, for Sergeant Kelly.
Yes.
You say the number is 24. Can you give us any idea where they all found together? We've heard reports that some of the bodies may have been huddled up. And secondly, if you have 80% still to go, does that mean, unfortunately, this number was likely to rise as well?
We anticipate that the number of victims will rise and it will increase. In regards to how we're finding the victims, I think the battalion chief would be best served to answer that question, as she's been in the scene a lot more than I have.
In terms of last night's operational period, we found one victim within feet of the breached wall. By the time we had made our 15-foot swath across the building down the center line to give us access to all 4 quadrants. We found 3 victims at the very far end, which would be the east side of the building. When we circled back to the center of the building, we had some large timber rafters that were coming down through the center from the mezzanine and the roof that had been part of our collapse zone. Extremely dangerous working environment for our firefighters at that point, so we came in and removed all those rafters so that we didn't have that precarious situation to look under. Within the center of the building, we almost immediately found 4 victims, and within 10 feet of those 4 victims, we found 6 more. So we can speak to the middle of the building, 10 victims. We believe that there were 2 staircases in the building, and it was not an affected area of the staircase. This is the most deadly fire in Oakland fire's history that I'm aware of. I've been in for 19 years. I would consider myself kind of a veteran. We have members from our latest recruit class that have 2 months on the job, and we've had members over the course of the night that have 30 years on the job, and every one of them has been emotionally impacted by this. It is tragic to watch so many people perish from a fire fatality in front of your eyes and have to be stoic in your job, be professional in your actions, and make sure that we're honoring the victims and their families to bring them safely out of the building.
Do you know what the cause of the fire was?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Any idea what the cause of the fire was yet?
No, it's still under investigation. We don't believe that we have even gotten close to the point of origin of the fire.
Quickly, Sergeant Kelly, can I just ask, because there's still a significant number of people unaccounted for, number one, and number two, have you been in contact with the building owner in recent days or hours because this is happening?
Yeah, you can. In regards to the amount of people that are still missing, yes, it's a significant number. We've given you a number of 24. That number will go up. But we've only searched about 20% of this building, so there is a lot of work to be done. In regards to the second part of your question, I'll let Officer Watson answer that.
So, Evan, we understand there are a lot of questions surrounding the building, permitting. We'll certainly have those conversations a little bit later. Right now, we are very much focused on the 24 victims and the 24 families that are grieving right now, and the 24 families that have lost their loved one. So we're going to, at this time, just leave you once again with 11 o'clock. We'll have another media availability, but right now this will conclude our press update.
A quick clarification, the bodies, are they still in the building?
We'll get back to you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, guys.